The UK Parliament has officially started talking about ILR wait times again. This new discussion could have an impact on thousands of workers who already live and work in Britain. Online rumors have been going around for months that the government might raise the time needed to qualify for indefinite leave to remain from 5 years to 10 years. Now MPs are talking about the problem in public again. But what's really going on behind the scenes, and should people with visas really be worried right now? The full truth will be told in today's report. We will talk about what Parliament is discussing, what ministers are saying, what changes are possible, and most importantly, what this could mean for students, skilled workers, spouse visa holders, and families planning their future in the UK. Migration rates are still one of the most touchy political issues in the country, which is the major reason why this debate has come up again. In the past 2 years, there has been more and more pressure on both government officials and politicians from the opposition to lower net migration numbers. As a result, many major changes to immigration have already been made. These include higher salary requirements for skilled worker visas, stricter financial requirements for family visas, limits on dependents for foreign students, and higher visa fees for many routes. Now people are paying attention to settlement rules again, especially the way to get ILR. Some MPs think that the current 5-year path to settlement is too short. They say that refugees should work and contribute to the economy for longer before they can get permanent residence. Others strongly disagree and say that making the waiting time longer would make families less secure, hurt the stability of the workforce, and make the UK less appealing to skilled workers. The debate has started up again in Parliament because of this difference. One important thing that is being talked about is whether the government should make the time it takes to settle longer. Like in some other countries, people who want stricter rules say that permanent settlement should only be given after a much longer time of contributing to society and the economy. They think that stricter rules on where people can live could cut down on long-term migration and make housing, public services and support systems less stressed. But people who are against the plan say that changing the rules could have a big impact on people who have already built their lives in the UK with the hope of a 5-year settlement route. Concerns have been made by immigration lawyers, migrant rights groups, and business groups that extending the ILR period could put a lot of families under financial and emotional stress. It already costs a lot to renew a visa, and making workers stay on temporary visas for longer could make it cost thousands of pounds more. Another worry of many trained workers is how any changes in the future might impact their long-term plans. When nurses, care workers, engineers, IT professionals, teachers, and other important workers move to the UK, they often know that if they meet all the requirements after 5 years, they may be able to stay there permanently. Those hopes could be totally dashed by a sudden change in policy. Right now, one important fact is very important to know. Just because Parliament started the topic again doesn't mean that the law has changed. For many types of visas, like skilled worker visas and spouse visas, the normal 5-year ILR route is still available right now. There is still no official law in place that would raise the ILR waiting time to 10 years for everyone. A lot of confusion starts here because talks on social media are often shown as official policy changes when they are not. The ministers of the government have not yet made a final choice public. What we are seeing instead is more political talk and pressure from some MPs who want stricter controls on immigration. Some people also think that the government might include more changes to immigration laws in future policy releases or promises made in the election manifesto, but the current rules will stay in effect until official legislation is presented and passed. Another important question being discussed is whether any future changes will affect people who already have visas or only people who apply for visas after a certain date. This is one of the most important questions for immigrants living in the UK right now. In the past, changes to immigration laws have sometimes included temporary protections for people who are already on current visa routes, but this is never a sure thing because they don't know what will happen. A lot of migrants are paying close attention to this discussion. Some lawyers think the government might not make changes that affect the past because of worries about fairness and possible legal challenges. Others say that stricter rules might still have an effect on present residents over time by making small changes to the rules. At this point, no one knows for sure what will happen in the end. There is also more and more disagreement about how tougher settlement rules will affect the economy. There are already labor shortages in a lot of UK businesses, especially in the healthcare and social care fields. Employers are worried that making it harder to settle could make foreign professionals choose other countries over Britain when there are easier ways to stay in the country for a long time. Universities are also worried because when choosing where to study, international students often think about job chances after graduation and where they can live in the future. On the other hand, politicians who want tighter controls say that lowering long-term migration is needed to get people to trust the immigration system again. They think the government needs to show the people that policies on immigration are getting stricter and more limited. One of the main reasons the ILR question keeps coming back to Parliament is probably because of this political pressure. There is also a lot of fear and misunderstanding going around because of social media. It has been said in some vids and posts that ILR has already changed to 10 years, or that all migrants will lose their right to settle down. According to current government policy, these claims are not true. While talks are going on, there have been no cancellations of all ILR routes. It is very important for travelers to trust official government announcements instead of rumors. If you are currently on a spouse visa, a skilled worker visa, or another path to settlement, the best thing you can do right now is to stay informed and not get stressed out. Keep following the rules for your present visa, keep the right paperwork, and keep an eye on official Home Office updates. Rules about immigration can change, but decisions are generally made public before they go into effect. Many immigration lawyers are also telling qualified migrants not to put off applying for immigration for any reason. People who are getting close to being eligible for ILR under the current rules may need to stay more organized and ready if new rules are made. Again, this doesn't mean that changes are certain, but people often act faster when they can, when they don't know what will happen. Integration and contribution standards are another thing that MPs are talking about. Some politicians say that settlement should include stricter tests about things like language skills, work experience, tax payments, or fitting in with the community. These talks are part of a bigger argument about what permanent residency should mean in the 21st century in Britain. Opposition parties have also said some things about the government's immigration plan, saying that frequent policy changes make things unstable for both migrants and employers. Business groups have also said that not knowing what the future rules will be on immigration could make it harder to hire people and slow down economic growth. This shows that the argument isn't just about politics, it also has to do with business planning, the need for workers, and Britain's reputation around the world. The emotional side of this discussion is just as important for families. Many immigrants stay in the UK for years while they build careers, raise children, pay taxes, and help their communities while hoping to stay there permanently. When people think about longer waiting times, they naturally worry about their stability, finances, and long-term safety. There is still no official date set for any big ILR reform, despite all the talk about it. When Parliament reopens debate, it just means that the problem is being talked about again. It doesn't mean that a law was passed today. Before big changes are made to the UK's immigration system, there are often long periods of public comment, policy suggestions, committee reviews, and parliamentary processes. This is why it is so important to keep political talk separate from government action. For many migrants, the 5-year settlement route is still open right now, even though lawmakers are arguing about whether or not more changes need to be made. The next few months could be very important for UK immigration policy as a whole. More announcements are expected to come soon since migration is still the main topic of political conversation. It's still not clear if these changes will finally lead to longer ILR wait times. But it's clear that the calls for tighter immigration rules keep going up. At this point, refugees should think about facts instead of fear. Stick to official government sources, stay away from false information online, and if you need to, get professional immigration help that is tailored to your needs. Talks about immigration policy can change quickly, but changes to official rules always need to be approved by the government before they take effect. This argument isn't over yet, and lots of people in the UK will be paying close attention to what comes next. If Parliament moves forward with new ideas, it could change the long-term ways for future migrants to settle down. But until then, the rules that are now in place will stay in place, and no final change has been accepted for the whole country to the ILR waiting times. As more information comes in, things could change quickly. especially since politicians are under more pressure to change how they handle migrants. So, make sure you know what's going on and don't rely on stories that are going around on social media. The UK's immigration policies are changing, but it's more important than ever to know the difference between policy that has been discussed and policy that has been made official. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on alerts so you never miss any new UK immigration and visa news. Please tell me what you think in the comments. Should the UK keep the 5-year ILR route, or should settlement rules get tighter in the future? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.